Morning, 8th graders. This is your work for, it's really for the 9th. You're going to have a test over this on April the 9th, but this should arrive at your location on April the 2nd, and you can start taking notes on this. You've been getting worksheets from chapter 26 from me, and you'll continue to before April the 9th's test. But these are the notes, if you'll read your handout that I sent you in forms. These are your notes that will help you to do well on your test, even more so. Fascist, you see the notes there. As it says in your book, governments are leaders of strong controlled dictatorships that stress nationalism and power, and you'll need to know that for your test. A couple more slides of that. I made these notes at the same time I made the test. So, you know the questions and answers here. You should do very well on your test. All right, that's still the same question and answer there, fascist, with some decorations to help you. So I like that one, the Three Stooges there, dressed up as Nazis. Funny episode. Appeasement. Giving in to someone's demands in an attempt to settle a disagreement peacefully. I'm sure depending on your platform, whether it's a small cell phone or widescreen TV, you may need to expand this a little bit to read it better. That's why I put it up with more than one slide. Governments or leaders of strong controlled dictatorships. Go back to the fascist one. Japanese, Chinese, Power Rangers. Amen. Okay. Conscientious objectors, young men who were sincerely opposed to war and were thus allowed to serve in a non-combat role or non-combat roles instead of regular military service. Conscientious objectors. And when you get this, you can slow it down slide by slide. You don't really need to hear me say it, that's for sure. It's a new iPad in case, is why I'm trying it this way. My wife had to get a new iPad to do her work at the other school and got the second one, a good price. Again, young men who were sincerely opposed to war and were thus allowed to serve in non-combat roles instead of regular military service. Blitzkrieg. In football, a famous term in football is blitz. That's why I had Brian Urlacher sacking Michael Vick. Definition of a blitzkrieg, and you can expand it if you need or see it there, and it's in your book if you look it up in chapter 26. It'll be on some of your worksheets in the next week too. A swift attack of bombers, tanks, and troops. A lightning war. A lightning war. A blitzkrieg. A swift attack of bombers, tanks, and troops. A lightning war. Famous linebacker for the Hall of Famer for the Bears way back in the day, Dick Butkus, and also, of course, some of you may know of Brian Urlacher, both famous middle linebackers for the Bears who blitzed the quarterback. Kamikazes. You'll see that on your next test. Kamikazes. Japanese land of the rising sun. Insignia flag behind the pilot. Japanese planes flown on suicide missions to destroy American ships. They were like bombs, missiles, precursor of 911 type of thing. Flying an airplane in as a bomb. Again, Japanese planes, kamikazes flown on suicide missions to destroy American ships. Coming in on the aircraft carrier, and they're lighting it up with machine gun bullets, trying to drop it before it hits the side of their ship. Probably 50 caliber rounds, I don't know, or some kind of AA gun. Notice, like in Saddam Hussein, the women were waving roses and flags to the pilots there, saying, "Oh, we'll come and marry you in the afterlife after you kill yourself for our country." Japanese planes flown on suicide missions to destroy American ships. Next section of test on the 9th, you'll match the following men with their countries, or his country in per se. Franklin Roosevelt with the United States. On your test, you'll say Franklin Roosevelt, United States. One of the very few pictures of him in his wheelchair. Most of his pictures were taken from chest up, so you could not see that he was paralyzed, and such as in a car there, he didn't want the enemy to think that he was weak and that our country was weak. Winston Churchill, Britain. Benito Mussolini, not Mosley, Mussolini. The Italian flag, Italy, Benito Mussolini in Italy, from Italy, with Italy. Adolf Hitler. Germany. Adolf Hitler, Germany. Joseph Stalin, Soviet Union. Joseph Stalin, Soviet Union. Harry Truman, United States. The Yalta Summit, Churchill, Roosevelt, Stalin. Go back one there, make sure you get that. Of course, you can freeze frame this and screenshot whatever you want. Potsdam Conference and Tehran Conference. Truman for the U.S. there, and Roosevelt for the United States there. Stalin, Churchill, Roosevelt, Stalin, Churchill, Truman. Next section gives the year and the significance of each event. Hitler invades Poland, 1939. The aggression that began World War II. I think you have that on a worksheet yesterday or today. See it there on the map. Germany, oops. Touchscreen, Germany, Poland there. Germany invading Poland. Spain, Portugal, France, Italy, and such. Norway, Sweden, Finland. Anyway, okay. Cool guns there. White camouflage because of snow. If you look closely, you can see that those guys are a bunch of clowns. LOL. Attack on Pearl Harbor. 1941 brought the United States into the war. And I'm not really trying to teach you from this. You have to get this to study. I mean, yeah, you'll have to do more and just listen to it once to do well on the test. You have to write out these notes and study. Show thyself approved. Attack on Pearl Harbor, 1941, brought the United States into the war. As you had in a worksheet the other day, the president saying that this day would live on for infamy as he asked Congress to declare war. That generation's 9/11, foreign attack on home soil from the air. D-Day, 6644, June 6, 44, 1944. Okay, so for that, I'd like you to know the Normandy invasion force was the largest in history, and it began the final push that gave the Allies victory over Germany. The Normandy invasion force was the largest in history, and it began the final push that gave the Allies victory over Germany. And you can pause this and write it in and such. Again, the Normandy invasion force was the largest in history, and the final push that gave the Allies victory over Germany. Many deaths. Mushroom cloud of an atom bomb. Bomb dropped on Hiroshima, 8/6/45, 1945. First atomic bomb dropped in a war helped force the Japanese to surrender. First atomic bomb dropped in a war helped the Japanese to surrender. A picture of a reasonable facsimile there, or the actual one before it was. Fat Boy and Little Boy were the two big bombs names. You see August the 6th, 1945, bomb dropped on Hiroshima, some people call it. The first one dropped in a war, helped force the Japanese to surrender. VE Day, Victory in Europe Day, VE Day, 5/8/45, May the 8th, 1945. Celebration of the end of the war in Europe. Celebration of the end of the war in Europe. Another good picture there. Very happy people. Hitler had surrendered. Table's making a V for victory. 5845. Another picture there, all the people in the car, very happy. VE, Victory Europe. All right, and that does it, kids. Chapter 26 notes. So, need you to, on chapter 26, be ready for this test. This test will be on Thursday, April 9th. That gives you a week to study. Ask me any questions if you have any. All the stuff's in the book anyway. You'll still have daily worksheets and such. So, hope you're having a good day. If you're having trouble reading them, don't forget to slow it down, screenshot it, freeze frame it, take notes. Thank you very much. We love you.